Happy Crafternoon, everyone. I'm Gina from Gina K Designs, and it's great to see all of you coming in from all around the world. Today we're going to have fun because we're going to be making our very first card together using the brand new Christmas cheer kit. And I have some fun ideas for this one. I'm going to show you how to do a recessed frame. It's not the first time I've done it, but for those of you who haven't seen it before, it definitely steps up your card. It's a very elegant way to create a frame. And then I'm going to be using lots of the floral designs from the Holiday Floral Stamp and Die bundle. I'm also going to be using the snowy background stamp to create a little bit of texture in the background. And I'm very excited about it, and I hope you are too. I hope you enjoyed our release party on Tuesday night. If you haven't seen it yet, make sure that you go. We do a full product tour, and our illustrators joined us, and their card projects are phenomenal. And I also shared about 8 different card projects right at the end of that video as well. So you can get lots of ideas right off the bat on how to use their products and also the new card kit. All right, well, before we get started, let's say hello to Tom. Hey, Tom.
From the dead space.
How are you?
Better than horrible.
You think?
And
it's been a morning already here.
What a week. What a week
Yeah.
and what a morning. Yes.
Yes.
Boy, happy Crafternoon, everybody.
But it's all good, right?
It is.
Anytime you're crafting, it's good, so I'm
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
excited. So do you have a word of the day?
I have a word of the day.
Awesome. Okay, because I know a lot of people are only tuning in for that. It'll be fun.
No, well, wanted to welcome newbies and not so newbies, but I know we've got a few newbies lurking about.
We do. Welcome to all the newbies. And you know what I call the not so newbies? The repeat offenders.
The repeat offenders.
We have our repeat offenders in the chat and our newbies. So welcome to everyone. All right, Tom. Well, we'll be seeing you in just a little bit. I'm excited about your word of the day.
Okay.
All right. And let's get started right away taking a look at the products we're going to be using today. So I'm going to be using the new Holiday Floral Stamp and Die combination. My dies are still in a bag because when I get my samples, I don't even get magnets. I've got to get some magnets for these. And then we're going to be using the snowy background. So you can see this is just an indication of me frantically making all 8 of my cards. This is quite a mess in here. But I do store our 6x6 background stamps in our large storage pockets, and I also store our stamp and die bundles along with the coordinating stencils, if there's any, in our stamp pockets too. These are the large ones, and they work great for storing these bigger stamps. Okay, well, I'm going to start with a piece of white cardstock, Gina K Designs Layering White. And I'm going to cut this in half because we're going to do quite a bit of stamping on this. I've got a lot of images to stamp here. Now, I'm kind of going to be playing off of a card that I shared on at our release party, and it's this card right here. I did this with the poly glaze. See how pretty that poly glaze looks? So if you're not sure what poly glaze is a way to foil designs. They're like toner sheets. This is what they look like. And we've got all the designs that are in this stamp set. We've done them in poly glaze. This way you can cut these designs out using the coordinating dies that come in the kit, and you can foil them with a laminator or with our fuse machine, or if you have a Mink, any kind of hot laminator will work, although we do recommend our fuse machine because it is a phenomenal machine. Perfect foiling every time. But the poly glaze is different than toner sheets because this is printed with a poly glaze material, and it's light. Well, the ink that we do is a very, very pale gray, and then that white poly glaze goes on top. It's actually a clear poly glaze. And then when you put it through the laminator, anywhere that there's design, you will get foil. And so you could see what that looks like when it's done. And I am going to be making a card similar to this in an upcoming video to show you the polyglaze process. But if you want to see it now, you can go to my YouTube channel and click on the foil playlist, and you'll see how to use the polyglaze. You'll see how to use toner sheets. You'll see how to use Decofoil transfer gel, all kinds of different ways to foil using the fuse machine or a laminator. So I thought I would play off of this layout here, and that was my point. But then I'm going to be adding that recessed frame behind there, and I'm going to be doing a little background stamping. So I'm just going to have this close by so I can see it. And then we're going to get the Misty, and we're going to stamp. So anytime you see a card that I've made using polyglaze, remember, you can always duplicate that same card idea. If you like this card but you don't want to get into foiling, you can just make that using embossing powder with gold, like gold embossing powder, silver embossing powder. Or you can do it just with black, which is what I'm going to do today. Now, embossing powder does not give you that high shine. It gives you a muted shine. So it's very different looking, but also another fun way to use these stamps and dies. So I am going to, start with this stamp here, and I'm going to stamp that first. I'm going to do these in parts so I don't have to try to ink up everything all at once. But I'm going to stamp this, and I am going to use some black Onyx ink. So I'm going to pick that up with the door of the Misty, and I'm using the Misty just in case I want to stamp it more than once. Brenda, you're going to be very happy because our fuse is coming. I can't even tell you how soon it's coming, but just hang on because you're going to have it in plenty of time to mass produce holiday Christmas cards. How's that for a little teaser? And it's our new white version of the fuse, so it is coming. All right, I'm going to stamp that one more time just to get that a little more solid. I don't like to over press. I like to just give it a light press so this way I don't lose the detail. Get a little more in there. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. So I'm going to get my tidy towel. And I'm just so excited by the foiling that, you know, I could make every Christmas card out of foil. I really could. It's so much fun. All right, and then for The other flowers, I'm going to use this large rose. I'm going to use this side rose. And then I'm going to use both of these leaves. And I'm going to be using the rose leaves. Let's see here. And I'm going to be using the berries and this pine sprig. Okay, so that's a lot of images. I think I'm going to just stamp a couple of them at a time. I don't like to stamp more than what my ink pad can fit over, because sometimes when you're doing that, you're going down like over the whole thing. Sometimes the ink up here starts to dry by the time you get down here, and you just don't get as even of an impression. So we'll just do it this way. Okay, and we'll give that an extra layer of ink. There we go. Okay, so now we have those. Let's clean that up. I love roses for Christmas. I think Christmas roses are beautiful. It's a great option. And also, of course, the poinsettias. But that's kind of what makes this set really a good value too, because it's not just poinsettias. It's not just Christmas flowers. It's roses too, and roses are great for Valentine's Day, and roses are great for any time, weddings, all of that. You know, so many great ways to use a rose. So this, you know, this stamp set might not have to leave your desk after Christmas, which is kind of fun. I love those sets that are more versatile. Okay. Give that a second stamping. Oh, I smeared that one. So I didn't check to make sure it was up at the top of the MISTI, but that's okay. We'll just move them down and we'll just stamp them again. See, I took my magnet off. Instead, I should have put it up here more, but no problem. And then we are going to use that big Merry Christmas greeting. It still moves even with the magnet. No matter how strong the magnet is, for some reason, it always moves. And so you always have to kind of check it. Learn from my mistakes. Make sure it's back up there. Okay. I love these pine leaves too. Little sprigs of pine. And then we are going to use the Merry Christmas greeting like I did in my sample. We're going to do Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, because I really need to get on some of my Christmas cards. So now is the time. You know, and that's the thing. If you start early like this, you're going to be fine. If you make a couple cards a week, you'll be fine. I don't know how many you send out, but you know, it's just nice to have them. And even if you make more than you send, then you'll have some ready for next year. So why not? Okay. I'm just going to stamp those a little bit separate. We might do a sticky mat down the line. We'll see. Maybe we will. Okay, that's one time, and I'll stamp it again. I don't think I need to stamp the bottom one again. I just want to stamp the top one again. Beautiful. All right, so now I've got all of my images stamped, and we're going to start to color. Now, I love coloring stencils. It's my new favorite thing. My new favorite thing since the last, I don't know, how many months have we been doing coloring stencils now? Half a year almost. And I'm really enjoying how easy it is to color and make it look really good. So I'm going to, sometimes I get nervous like coloring before I cut, because then you want to make sure that you cut perfectly. But you know, I think I'm going to be okay. So It's easy to line these up. These coloring stencils, you just have to find where it says Holiday Floral at the bottom. Now, you might not be able to see that, but you might be able to a little bit there. See where it says Holiday Floral? You want to make sure that that's at the bottom, and that's going to make it easy to line up because all of these are in the position that they're in on the stamp sheet. So it's easy to figure it out. If you stamp them upright, you know, you'll be able to figure them out very easily. You know, they're all positioned the right way. So sometimes I have to go back and look at the image on the sheet to just pop it into place, but you can see we did that on purpose to make sure it would be easy to line everything up. Okay. That's kind of your stamp sheet is your little guide then, you know. Oh, don't you can cut the stencils if you want. I don't cut the stencils just because I know that I would lose a piece. That would be me. I would lose a piece, but you could definitely cut the stencils if you feel like, you know, they're in the way and you just want to do one at a time. That's not a problem at all. Okay, so I am going to get some colors here. I'm going to get Red Hot because I want to make my card very traditional. So I'm going to do Red Hot. And then I'm going to, I should have gotten these out earlier. I'm going to do Medium Spruce. I love this combination for Christmas. Red Hot, Medium Spruce, beautiful combination. I'm going to do Light Spruce. And I'd like to do one more color in there. Like maybe the blues. So we could do either powder blue or we could do turquoise. Turquoise Sea. I do kind of like red, blue, like red, turquoise, and green together. So, yeah, I think I'm gonna go with the turquoise. But let's start with the red, okay? We'll start with the red. So I'm going to go right over here. Right over here. And I'm just going to tape this down in place. You don't have to, though. You could just hold it. It's pretty easy to do, but I'll tape it down today. Oops. Actually, I have to release the tape from my fingers. There we go. Okay. And then I'm going to use one of my smaller blending brushes here. Yeah, I think it's going to be a good color combination. We'll see. We'll see. Okay. And I'm going to start here in the center. And then I'm just going to work my way out. So I'm leaving a little bit of light space at the tips of the flowers. Now, if you want, you can be very creative and you can take a little bit of yellow and you could go right around the edges of that poinsettia. Probably could use a little more yellow. This is wild dandelion. Just gonna get a little bit more yellow. You can use a detail brush for this too. And then you can go a little heavier in the center with the red.
All right, couple quick questions.
Sure.
All right, Linda's asking, since purchasing the stamp and die bundle or the stamp, just the stamp are the options, how can you cut out the polyglaze images other than the squares, circles, ovals, etc.? There's no die for polyglaze.
So if you're going to buy the polyglaze sheets that have images that coordinate like this, I would definitely recommend buying the bundle. I mean, there's no point in not buying the bundle if you're trying to use polyglaze because you need the dies to cut them out. Otherwise, you know, you could fussy cut them, or if you have a scan and cut, you could, that's an electronic die cutter, you could use something like that. But otherwise, yeah, you're kind of limited to just shape dies to cut them out. So you definitely should only buy the bundle if you're going to use polyglaze. All right. So now I'm going to start with some of the blues. So gosh, all right, I'm going with the turquoise. I'm doing the turquoise.
You mean only buy polyglaze if you have the bundle?
Yeah, only buy polyglaze if you have the bundle. If you shouldn't, because you need it to cut out the polyglaze.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now some of our polyglaze is designed to be cut out with shapes. Like we have some words that you can cut out just with a rectangle and stuff like that. But you definitely, if you want to cut all this out and you want to cut out all the polyglaze and you want to make a card like this, there's kind of not really an option to not have the dies. Unless, of course, you're really good at fussy cutting, and there are some people that purposely don't buy the dies because they don't like dies. They love to fussy cut. I am not one of those people. I do not care to fussy cut. I will if I have to, but I don't really want to. Okay, so here we go. I'm bringing that up just a little lighter at the top and going a little heavier down here at the bottom. Oh, that's pretty, huh? Yeah, the blues are nice. Okay, so this one is the medium flower. So I'm just going to get that into place. And I'm going to do the same thing here. Kind of keeping it dark toward the bottom and getting lighter as I go toward the top. Just to give it the look of shading. I'm not a pro at creating lights and darks, but I do like to have some shading in my design. So now while I have this here, I'm just going to do this one too, the single flower. My little woodpecker inkstand. It really sounds like a woodpecker to me. It's so funny. And you can also go with like a darker shade of teal. So if you wanted this flower to be a little bit more solid, you could bring some dark shading in by just going with the tranquil teal at the bottom instead of just kind of doing that fade. And then we need to do this one too. Find the right position for that. These are pretty easy to line up.
So Catherine is asking, what color would give a glow to the blue flowers like the yellow does to the red? Would apple mint work?
Might, yeah. I mean, I would definitely try it. You could also try something like maybe a little bit of lavender at the top, a little purple, some kind of purple. But yeah, apple mint might work. I'm kind of leaving the white up there to kind of create that two-tone look. So they do kind of feel like they're glowing to me a little bit just by doing the blues. But of course, you know, if you want to do a two-tone, you could try apple mint, you could try lavender, maybe the lightest lilac might look good. Okay. Almost forgot about that one. Okay, so now we have some blue flowers. Now I think I'm going to make the berries red, just bright red, because I feel like there's not enough red in this card for me, and since it's a Christmas card, I want more red, so I'm going to do the two things of berries in red. So again, these are very easy to line up, these holes, and just pop them into place. And you can see I'm not even like really putting any tape down. Once I get them in place, I'm just loading up my brush and I'm going right in there with red hot. There we go. And then I'm going to do this one down here. So you could just do everything all at once. And you know, what I love about these coloring stencils and I love about the polyglaze and this whole concept is this stuff is just a great mojo starter. If you don't know what you want to make, just cut a bunch of the images out and color them. Then as you start to think, oh, I think I want to make a fancy fold card, or I want to make a, some kind of split design, or I want to do a background technique. Then you've got all these nice little homemade ephemera pieces that you've made using your coloring stencils and your dyes and your polyglaze, and you're ready to go. Okay, so I'm just wiping that down with a little bit of rubbing alcohol.
So Kimberly is just getting started, and she wants to know if you have a list of first must-haves.
Oh, well, I bet you a lot of our friends in the chat would tell you what their must-haves are. And a lot of us have learned the hard way where we thought we needed everything, and we actually found out that we didn't need everything. That, there are certain things that once you have them, let's see if I can get a different brush. Once you have them, that's really all you need to get started. So, one thing that I would suggest, if you're a new crafter and you like the idea of a kit, or you like the idea of being able to do this kind of stuff, I would start with a kit because it is such a great value. And I think a lot of our friends in the chat will tell you what a good value our kits are, especially this month with even that extra free gift that you get. Getting a kit, with this kit you get 2 big die sets, you get coloring stencils, you get a 4-piece layering stencil set, you get 2 big stamp sets, you get the extra Merry Christmas and shadow die. So I'm starting with the light spruce on this. I think I might have had some other spruce on here, so I think I'm not going to worry about doing any other colors. So that's the one little rose leaf that I wanted in there. I don't even know how much I'm going to use it, but I'm going to do all the leaves in this color. So, if you want to die cut, you will need a die cutting machine. And I'm sure you all know the one I'm going to recommend, the one that's coming back in stock. It's on the water right now, which is our Intracut, because it does really make things easy when it comes to die cutting and embossing and using 2D and 3D embossing folders. The sandwich is so easy because there's only one sandwich. So easy to use. Sorry, I'm distracted. And now I'm going to do the outside leaves of this poinsettia. We did break this up into 2 stencils, which I think is really nice because it tells you which leaves are the leaves and which leaves are the petals. So, a die cutting machine, a paper cutter, and a scoring board. I would say a handful of inks. You can start with ink cubes and maybe a card kit. If I could start over again, that's probably how I would start. I wouldn't try to watch every single video and try to buy everything for every single video. I would start with one thing. And, one thing that I do here on my channel is I'm going to make you're going to see 16 different cards out of this kit because I've already made 8. Well, I've made 7. You're going to see 14 at least because I'm going to make it again in a different way, each card that I made, and then show you the original. So, that's a lot of card ideas. So, find something to buy that is going to have a lot of inspiration. Not something that is like one video and done and you never see anything else with it. I think that that's really important, especially for beginners, because you can kind of go down a rabbit hole of, oh, I need everything to make that one card. And then you get everything to make that one card. And because you're new, you might not have a ton of ideas yet. So you're looking for more ideas. Our, Mindy Egan, Jennifer McGuire, Kathy Zilski, they've all made projects featuring this kit. And then I'm going to keep making projects. And Mindy made a second card project today using the kit. So there's just so much inspiration. That's kind of what I like about card kits. So I'll get off my high horse about that, but but I know it's hard to decide when you're first getting started. Okay, so what do you think of those colors? I think that they came out really nicely. Yeah, collecting is definitely a separate hobby than crafting. But my goal is to get you to craft, not to collect, which is why I make so many videos using the same stamps over and over again. And my repeat offenders will tell you that it is not unlike me to pull out a stamp set from 2018 and use it again. How many times have I used our silhouette stamps? How many times have I used our spring blessings with the bird? I mean, holiday tapestry. Over and over and over again, because I don't design something that I'm not passionate about. And so when I design it, I want to keep using it. Okay. So the branch on the lower left. This one here, the branch in the lower left. Lower left. Here's lower left. I think I got them all. This is just going to stay black. So I could have stamped that in Christmas Pine or in medium or dark spruce, which might have been a better idea, but I am going to have quite a bit of black on this card. So, okay. So now I'm going to do some die cutting here. And I'm going to cut a few things out at a time. So this is our Intracut die cutting machine. Let me move this back a little bit so you guys can see better. There we go. Okay. And then let's cut these 3 images out first. So let me find my die set. Now, it would have been nice if I had taken a little initiative to put these all on the magnets. So I'm going to have to pick through them a little bit, but we'll find them. It might take a minute, but we'll find them. They're pretty easy to see what's what here. Okay. Hopefully I didn't lose any at home because I've been traveling back and forth with these. Now I am using the magnetic mat, so hopefully...
Pamela wants to know what's the actual size of the A6 card base.
The A6 card base is 4.5 by 6 1/4. That is the actual size of the A6. Oh my, calling me up to do math. Yep, that's the size. 4.5 by 6 1/4. So, you know, you're going to cut that 4.5 plus 4.5 equals 9. So you're going to cut your cardstock 9 by 6.5 and then score it at 4.5, if that helps. Okay. I'm going to hold these down just to be safe because it's always nerve-wracking when you do more than one cut at a time. Yeah, that's the US A6. We did a little poll in our group when we did our master layouts, and the US A6 got the highest amount of once. So that's what we did for our master layouts. So we've got these cut out. Now these are my duds. All right, so let's do this one. I get nervous cutting out too many at once. Well, that's all right. I'm going to cut these 2. There we go. Okay. Yeah, A6 is just a little bit bigger than A2, but it's nice because it's bigger. And when you have some of the bigger floral stamps or you just like a bigger, meatier card, it just gives you that, you know, that ability to have a little bit more space. Some people like a bigger card because they want to write a bigger message on the inside. And you could I have to make one. I'm going to be making one very soon, I promise. I promise I'll make one very soon.
And advice on the Intracut cutting plate getting bowed, how to flatten it. Do you have a video for that? Or?
I don't have a video for it, but I actually tried the other night because no matter what plate you use, it's going to bow. I don't care what plate it is, it's going to bow over time, whether it's magnetic, whether it's regular. And And so I just put mine in the sink with hot tap water. And it makes it real flexible, and then you can kind of flex it back into shape. Now, I tried it last night with it was last night I think I tried it with my magnetic mat. Because the magnetic mat over time, because you can't flip it back and forth, it'll curl a little bit. See how it's kind of curling up on this side a little bit? And that just flattened it right back out. And it actually flattened really quickly, which was very nice. So, but don't use boiling water. I've seen people say to use boiling water, and everybody in our group that has used boiling water has ruined their mat and had to buy a new one. So, with that in mind, don't use boiling water. Just use very hot water from your tap. Because it's plastic, so, you know, if you boil it, it's going to be too much. Don't use boiling water. Okay. There we go. There's our big image. Now you could also stencil that center, and I made a stencil center for it. Where the stencils go, here they are. There is a tiny little center that fits right in there in the center. And that is, if you wanted to, you could ink that up with embossing ink, and then you can emboss the center of that flower in gold. But I'm going to do something a little different with my center, so I'm not going to use that layer, but you can use it if you want.
And Sue wants to know, will you be offering replacement cutting plates for the Intracut machine?
Yes, we have replacement plates. I think we have replacement plates. Well, I know that we've got everything coming. If we don't, I think everything is out of stock right now. But yes, we will have replacement cutting mats, and we will have a replacement cutting mat for the magnetic mat too. All right, so let's see. There we go. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. I love that these are two little separate images, greetings, because you can like move them around and put them in different spots on your card. I just love all the space it creates. All right, so let's get that out. Poke those out. I love this die. Okay, isn't that so pretty? Such a great greeting. All right, so that one. So if you ever have trouble getting them off your mat, I just take the mat and I just bend it. See how you can just bend it and pull that right up. Okay, now we are going to create our little frame. So the first thing I want to do is I want to cut a panel. And I think the panel that I'm going to use is from Master Layouts 14. I'm going to use the stitched die from Master Layouts 14. So let me find that die. I know it's in here. There we go. It's the stitched die from Master Layouts 14. It's a little bit bigger than our Master Layouts 2. And I'm going to use the plain die from Master Layouts 1 to create the backing panel.
Michelle wants to know, is your ink water reactive?
Yes, it is. Our dye ink is. You can spritz on it and get the little white dots and things like that. And we have people that watercolor with it. In fact, Lisa Hetrick, and I think I saw her in the chat, she has done some great watercolory videos with Gina K Designs ink. So yeah, it's water reactive. You can watercolor with it for sure. But our amalgam ink is not water reactive. That's waterproof, and you can watercolor on it instead of with it. And of course our pigment ink, like our white and our ivory, white and ivory are not water reactive. Okay, so I'm going to cut out the plain rectangle from Master Layouts 1. That's going to fit behind there. Hello, everybody, and welcome. It is great to see all of you here. We've got people coming in from Facebook, from YouTube, and from Twitch. My big Twitch following. I started going live on Twitch because there were a couple people that said that they liked Twitch. So I thought, okay, I'll go live on Twitch. I think I have like 17 followers on Twitch. But I don't have the heart to not go on Twitch because there's 17 people who show up, and we love you. We love you, our Twitch fans. Twitch is really more of a gaming site. Okay, I put that away, but I didn't mean to put it away. I just want to get these dies out of the way before I lose them. Okay. So, welcome everybody. It is great to see all of you. So now I'm going to create what I call a recessed frame. So here's a card that I shared on release night. And you can see I used an oval, and that oval is popped up. And it's really pretty to have that dimension. But for this card, I want to do the opposite. So you can see here on this card, I used the double-stitched oval for my white piece and the single-stitched oval for my black piece. And those two dies are very close in size with that 1/8 of an inch difference, which actually gives you like a 1/16 of an inch little border. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reverse the process. So I'm cutting out of my white panel, not the double-stitched one that you saw here in white, but I'm going to cut it out using the single-stitched one because I want it to be bigger. All right. Now, before I do that, I am going to add a little bit of something on the back of this. So I'm going to use my snowy background stamp. This is new, and I promise you, we reordered so many of these because so many of you just said that you loved it. And here's the way I use a big background stamp, because a lot of people struggle with background stamps, and you really don't have to struggle. You don't have to. What I'm going to do is I've taken the top sheet out. I've left the bottom sheet. I'm just going to leave it there on my desk. And I'm going to take my light spruce ink and I'm going to ink up this background stamp. Now I have something here, and I don't know if it's going to be a problem, so I'm going to try to just get it off. I've got a little fuzzy in here. See that? And I'm going to just take that off. All right, because I don't want it to cause a problem. So I make sure that that's nice and inky.
Do you know what size storage pockets to use to store master layout sets?
Either the, well, it depends on the size because we have two different sizes. Okay, so just give me a moment to finish this and then I'll answer that. All right, so I'm going to lay this down, face down, right onto my background stamp. Like that. And then I'm going to use the top sheet from my background stamp and lay it on top. And then I'm just going to lightly press all over this to make sure that the stamp has made contact with the cardstock. So, you know, all of this trying to finagle it into the MISTI, and then like you pretty much have to get on top of the MISTI, stand on it to make sure everything makes contact. This is such an easier way to do it. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? I love that background. Such an easy thing to do. And then I would just take a little bit of rubbing alcohol and clean off the top sheet, because there are parts of the top sheet that touched the stamp and you don't want to have it inky. And then I just use my tidy towel to clean my background. And that's all you have to do. You don't have to put it in the MISTI and, you know, try to get all your pressure on it. Sometimes that's hard, and this makes it super easy. Okay, so the pockets that I use are these are our stencil pockets. These are our stencil pockets. I store our small ones in our stencil pockets. You can also use our medium storage pockets. And then for the large sets, just use our large storage pockets. I think the medium storage pockets would be better for the small sets. I think I just happen to have small storage pockets, but the medium ones are more like our medium stamp set size, and that'll fit a little bit better. Okay. Did I answer everything?
I think so.
Okay. All right, so now that we have this designed, let's go ahead and get the die cutting machine again. I know, this is my favorite background stamp I've ever done. This one is never going to leave because it gives you the look of that paint splatter. And that just makes such a difference, doesn't it? It's just so easy. You don't have to worry. So again, I'm using the larger of the two, which is the single stitched, and I'm going to create my oval in there. So I'll just get that where I want it. Okay. So now I have a hole in the middle. Get that off of there. I have a hole in the middle. Now I'm going to take a piece of black cardstock and I am going to trim this down to be a little bit smaller. So I know that this one is 3 3/4 by 5. So I'm going to cut this one down to be a little bit smaller. I'm going to go with 3 1/2 by 4 3/4. Because I want this to be able to go behind here. Now I'll tell you, I did try nailing the center by lining up the die. And the problem is that sometimes when your plate goes through, it pushes the die down ever so slightly, and then your perimeter isn't perfectly even. You could do a lot of taping if you want, but to me, this is just easier to do. So I'm just going to do it this way. I'm going to cut that right in the center. This is the smaller of the two. Now, the first one I did with the single, I'm going to use the double stitch this time. Okay. I'm going to get it centered. You can always trim a little off if anything is sticking out, so don't worry. Okay. So now we've got that one. Now we can take that and we could adhere it there, and instead of having this look where you have the black on the outside and the white, the black on the outside and the white up front, here you've created a frame. So now when we pop this up onto our card, there's going to be lots of dimension between this and the background. So I'm going to, I don't think I need my die cutting machine anymore, so let me get rid of that. Ooh, I might. I know what I need. I need one more piece, so I'm going to cut it now. So I'm going to cut out, oh no, I already cut out the Master Layouts one. So, hey, this is live video, and my brain doesn't work like it used to, so. All right, so you can see what's happening here. So this, let's adhere these two pieces together first. I've got little white shrapnel all over me here. So I'm going to start with some tape on here. This is just the Gina K Designs tape runner. You could use glue if you want that wiggle room to make sure that you lined it up right. But I like to stress. So all right. So we're going to line this up. I think I'll just start down here at the bottom. Get that kind of even. There we go. Looks pretty good. And just shift it a little bit before I press it down just to get it into place. That looks pretty good. Okay, so now we've got that little black perimeter going around. Now, this whole thing is going to go on here to create that layer on the back. But you can place this, if you want, in here so that you've got some dimension. But you really kind of have to nail it in the right spot. And that's not always easy to do. So what I suggest, because I like to go the easy way, even if it means using an extra piece of cardstock. I am not opposed to using an extra piece of cardstock ever. So I'm going to just cut another piece that's 3.5 by 4 3/4. And remember, you can always watch the replay and just zip ahead to where I mention sizes. And I'm going to do one more of these and put it on the back so that you can see this coming through on the other side. Ooh, I used medium spruce. I don't want to do that. Although that might look cool to have a different color. But you could do that if you want. You could actually have a different color on your background on the inside. I'll use this for another card though. I'm not going to throw that away. So I'm just using the light spruce again. Going to do the same thing, just lay it down on there, get my top sheet. And remember, with this stamp, this snowy background, you could also use like, you could use embossing ink and gold, so it looks like gold spatter. You can use white and do it on a darker cardstock for a very subtle look of snowfall, which I did share a card on release night where I did that, but I'll be making that card again, so I'll show you that up close next time we make that card. All right, so now this is going to go here in the center, and then this is going to be popped up on top. So now see how that shadow is in there? It just gives it all that cool dimension. And I'm just going to tape this onto here. Now I was thinking about using Christmas Pine as my background color. I did it on this card, but with this particular card, I don't feel like I have as much red. And so I feel like maybe a red background might be a better option. So I think I'm going to just use red velvet, maybe. What do you think of that? Red velvet. Oh, I dropped one. Red velvet with these pieces. Or do you want to see the Christmas pine? We'll look at the Christmas pine. Maybe that'll make the red pop more if we do it on Christmas pine. What do you think? Remember, we've got a lot of stuff going on this card. All right, we'll do the Christmas pine. People are liking the red. We could even do the blue. Red velvet is gorgeous. Yeah, it is. And you know what? Here's Christmas red. Christmas red might even be better. And Christmas red is actually on its way, coming back in stock again. Remember when we had Christmas red last Christmas? Let's do Christmas red, because that's coming back. So we'll do the sneak peek of Christmas red. And we're not going to like launch it with any big launch. It's a product that's been out of stock and it's coming back. So if you're on the wait list for that, you'll just get an email notification. Christmas red rocks. It is one of my new favorite reds. It is a very, very hot red. It's really pretty. There we go. Okay. So now we can lay this on first. Let's lay this on first. This is that back panel that we made. And then to create the dimension, we're going to put that other panel on top, but we're going to put it on top with foam squares. So it's going to be tricky, but we're going to do it. We're going to find a way. So let's do that. We're going to use some foam squares. I don't have any big ones right now. I think I took them home. So I'm going to put one here and one here. And one here. And one here. Because I don't want this to sink. I'm going to do one here. and one here. This way, you know, around the oval it won't sink. And you can see how that just creates that nice dimension. You can almost see the shadow in there. Can you see the shadow coming in? So it's kind of fun. It's a little bit different. All right. We'll put one on the corner. We have to make do with the small ones. All right, and one right here and here. Okay, so we're gonna do our best. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make it better than horrible. So Tom, while I'm finagling this, because this is gonna be me. I know I should put the glue on, but I love the challenge. Do you have a word of the day?
Okay, we have a clean and simple word of the day.
Okay. A clean and simple word of the day? Is that what you said?
Quick, clean, and simple word
Okay.
of the day. Okay, for anybody out there who has ever gotten a loan with not so great terms, we've all been there.
Yes.
You obtained financing. Financing. Loan on unfavorable terms
Finance.
to the borrower. Oh, and I don't have this typed up, but just thought of this. If you use that financing to buy an airplane, then that would be financing, right?
Yeah, it would be financing. Love it.
Clean and simple. Word of the day. Right back to the dead space.
All right. So now I've got my recessed frame, and now I'm going to pop these pieces on top. So this one's going to go up here, and I am going to use some foam squares to attach this part. I might have to use more than one. We'll have to see. I'm going to lay that up here. This is going to be my top piece. So we'll just put a foam square right here. Just to make that not sink in. That works. And then we're just going to attach it to the outside. So we could put a few more foam squares in. I definitely need more squares. I can't spare a square right now. We don't want that one here. That's in a bad spot.
I don't do this at home, do I?
Do what?
Word of the day.
No, you don't. He spares me the word of the day at home. So I'm just taping the top parts that are going to stick to the outside, and then I have foam squares to keep it level with this part for the inside. It's slightly smaller, but just slightly. And then I'm going right to the edge at the top and the side here, like that. And there we go. Okay. So again, we've got dimension in there, kind of carrying that. Now we're going to add flowers down here. So we're going to do one here that we're going to pop up. We're going to do one over here. And then we're going to put this one in here. This one over here. And we'll be covering some of this with the greeting, but that's okay. And then these two are gonna kind of come down here like that. All right, so that's kind of my bottom. In fact, let me use this one because this is gonna get all covered. I might just put this one down in here too. So we've got a little more greenery down here at the bottom.
Darcel wants to know if you can hold the Christmas red next to the velvet. Are you able to do that?
Yeah, I can.
Said she ordered the red velvet instead, but I need to know if I need the other when it comes in.
Okay, so hopefully you can see the difference. Here's red velvet, here's Christmas red. See how much brighter Christmas red is? Red velvet is deep. It's true red. There's not too much blue, not too much orange in here. Christmas red is a little hotter. So hopefully that helps. Okay, so now I'm going to put my greenery down first. So some greenery is going to get popped up on the inside. So we'll pop this up on the inside. I need everything popped up because the greeting's going to pop up on top of that. So we'll do this over here. We're going to be adding a few little gems in there. And then this one. Sometimes people will ask me, oh, this card, takes a long time. But, there are certain people that keep your cards forever. And I think I've told this story a bunch of times, but it always makes my heart happy when I think about it. That when my sister and I were kind of going through my mom's stuff, I found all the cards I had ever made my mom. And she kept them in a box. And she used to call handmade cards the keepers. That's a keeper. And so, there are certain people in your life that are definitely card worthy. And you don't mind taking all of the extra time to make those cards for them because they love them and they cherish them and they're going to keep them forever. So I'm just adding this over here. Hoping I'm nailing it in the right place. I think I am. And this will go on top. I think we'll move this more like in here, like that. And we're going to pop that up with a foam square. We'll put the foam square here so that we don't have to try to fit it in. And then we'll just pop it up there. And then this one, same way, we'll put the foam square down first.
Had a request for the measurements of the elegant tree.
Oh, I don't know off the top of my head, but it is on the website. It should be there. So if you look at the description, it should tell you what the measurements are. Yeah, I just don't have that. All right, so we're going to put Merry Christmas here, a little bit offset, and then end Happy New Year right in there. So we're going to pop some of that up too. Oh, I like the way this card is coming out. Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry I don't have those measurements. All right, so we're going to put some foam squares here on this part of Christmas. So down here.
All right. They said it's not there, so later you can check that.
Yeah, you can also reach out to customer service and they'll be able to get that information for you. I can also see if I can measure it because I do have my card, but I want to finish this card first. All right, so I've got a couple of foam squares there that's going to take that up. And then I'll just put tape up here on my Merry. And then do I get my tweezers and be Mindy Egan today? Yes, I will. I really fought the tweezers in the beginning, but I always thought it looked so cool the way Mindy used them, and now I find it hard to like position a greeting without it. Make sure that's straight. That looks pretty straight. Does it look straight? I think this is distracting me. No, it's a little crooked. So we'll just pick that up and turn it a bit. And tape it back down. There we go. Okay. That looks pretty good. Does that look good? I can't even get it straight with. There we go. Okay. Okay, now this one I'm going to just put down here a little bit, foam square on the and the year. And I just cut my foam squares in half. Makes it very easy. Then we'll put a little tape in here because that will stick to the pine. And we'll get this straight under here. I'm going to put the "and" down first.
All right, Judy gave us a measurement for the elegant tree die.
Oh, excellent. Thank you, Judy. Okay, that's not straight. You know, I can't see straight. How's that? There we go. That looks straight. Now, oh, I love all the little speckles on there. It's so pretty. Now I'm going to add a few little gold metallic pearls because I feel like the red with the gold is going to be really pretty. Although the silver looks nice too. I did silver with this one. But I'm going to do some gold on this one. So let me get my Connect glue. And I got to get in there to get the tinies. Okay, so we'll put a tiny one here. And a tiny one here. Maybe we'll do a bigger one in there. That's kind of pretty. Kind of going around the oval. Let's get a couple more in to see if we like that positioning. I'm blingering. See if we like that positioning. Put one there. And one more tiny one. This one's upside down. Over here. What do you think? That little bit of... I'm not sure if I like them all that perfectly positioned. Let's try to mix it up a little bit and see. Yeah, I like that better. Although I feel like I need something down here. Maybe this big one down here.
Your request for the center of the red flower.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. So I wanted to use a big gold one for the center of the red flower. Ooh, so maybe I can use one more over here. Because then I will have an odd number. One of them will be on the big flower. Right there, like that. Yes, that looks good. I feel good about it. So now I'm going to do these one at a time. There we go. One, two, three, four. Has to be odd. 4, 5, 6.
Like your spouse, right?
7. Odd like my spouse. There we go. All right. And so there is the finished card. So we did this same layout, and kind of my goal here was to show you how you could take a layout. The flowers are laid out exactly the same way, but you can change up the whole thing. Use foil, do a recessed oval, do something completely different. Maybe try a rectangle, something else like that. So there you go. There are 2 different layouts there for that same floral pattern, floral layout, 2 different card projects. And yeah, I kind of like it. I like it. This is pretty. And I like the color combination here. And I'll show you, I did a similar card, color combination wise. Where is that card? I don't know. I think I lost a card. Oh, I must have lost. Oh, here it is. Similar color combination, but here using a rectangle design And you can really, I mean, they all look pretty different, but they all have, you know, those beautiful florals, and these two with the same color combination and these two with the same floral layout. So lots of different things to do. Yeah, we got to do a polyglaze card. That's coming up. That's going to come up next Thursday. I'm going to do a polyglaze card because I'm excited about it, the polyglaze, definitely. So, all right. So I think I'll share these two pictures, and then I'll save the polyglaze picture for my polyglaze card that I do next. All right. So we've got to give away a gift card, Tom. And then I've got, before we give away the gift card, though, let me finish up some business here. Do some business. I have to tell you that I'll be going live tomorrow with my friend Heidi Crowell from Simon Says Stamp. We've got a special live for you, and we are going to be introducing my Stamp-Timber collaboration. So you get that little sneak peek because you were watching here. And I hope you will join us. We will be going live at noon Central Time. So I think the stamp set will be released a little earlier than that. But we'll be going live, and we're going to do a deep dive on it. And I'm going to be showing you all kinds of... I have a couple projects made that I think you're going to like using it. So that's tomorrow. And then next Tuesday, Tom and I will not be going live because I will actually be out in Arizona. And I've been invited to be on scrapbook.com's live YouTube channel. And we will be doing something fun over there too. So I hope you'll tune in for that. That's going to be in the daytime. I think it's going to be like at 9 a.m. their time, which would be like 11 o'clock our time. I don't know. I'm usually not up and ready that early, so I don't know what's going to happen with that. But we'll see. So a lot of fun things coming. But definitely tune in tomorrow, noon Central Time, 1 o'clock Eastern Time. We are going to be dual streaming on my channel and on the Simon Says Stamp YouTube channel. So I hope you will join us for that. I am so excited, and I can't wait to spend some time with Heidi. You all love Heidi so much. She's such a great person, and I'm just really excited. So I hope you'll join us for that. All right, now Tom, it is time. Time to give away a $15 gift card. Remember, they never expire. You can use them when stuff comes back in stock. You can save it for our next release, whatever you want to do.
And drum roll, please. Here we go. The winner is Kathy Solie.
Yay!
Kathy Solie.
Yay, Kathy! Congratulations. All you have to do is send your name and email address to info@ginakdesigns.com, and we will get that out to you. All right, everybody. Well, this was so much fun. We hope that you had a good time today. We hope that when you get your kit, you will be inspired to make this. I'll tell you, our kits are very limited. They're going to be probably sold out in the next day or two. So, you know, it's getting tight. So if you're interested in it, I would suggest grabbing it as soon as you can. If you see something you like here, you can always check it out on our website at ginakdesigns.com. And if you like a Facebook group and you want to come to the friendliest Facebook group on the internet, join us at Gina K Designs and Stamp TV Friends. Share your Gina K Designs projects over there, and you will get lots of love because we love to see what you make. All right, everybody. Well, like I said, Tom and I will not be back on Tuesday, but we will be back next Thursday here in our studio with the live. But come and join us tomorrow for our Stamp-Timber collab. I'll be going live with Heidi Crowell. All right, everybody, stay safe and healthy. We love you all so very much, and we'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.